This is the New York City FC Pregame Live. Tonight, New York City hosts DC United with a chance at their second straight win. And now, here are your hosts, Glenn Crooks and Matty Lawrence.
Yeah, here we are. This is the 16th time. Hello, everybody. I'm Glenn Crooks. There's Matty Lawrence. The 16th time that New York City has played a home match at Citi Field, which is in Queens, which is on Seaver Way. And just across the street, there you see a nice video picture, whatever you want to call it. And over the right field stands there, Matty, on the other side of Seaver Way. That's where the new Pacific Soccer Stadium is going to be built. And it's being made official today. The mayor is on hand. I think you saw him on the way in. I don't know if you exchanged pleasantries. I know you at least saw him. But he's here. Francisco Moya, the Queen City Councilman, who is so instrumental. Two of the people really instrumental in helping to make this happen. But there's a pregame ceremony outside of Citi Field, and then one will take place inside here, part of the pregame. New York City President Brad Sims, who has been dealing with this since his arrival, but club officials have been dealing with this since 2013, which is 2 years before New York City even played a match. So consider how glorious this must be for some of the people who've been here from the start.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think everybody realized and realizes how difficult it is to get something built within Manhattan or the Bronx or Queens or wherever it may be. There's not that much land, and it's going to cost an awful lot of money, and won't say the right palms have got to be greased, but I'm sure they do need to be. So it makes it very, very hard, but now we're within sight. I think it's just a matter of Eric Adams signing off as far as
I don't know the exact.
I don't quite know what
there's just one,
per se.
But he's the guy, and he's been supportive all along. So it's been ever since the last vote, which was 10-0, and I can't claim to know exactly what group that was, but that was the second to last procedure for approval, and now the mayor has to say yes. He has already said yes a number of times. Remember, he hosted what really was akin to a pep rally last year when one of the strides had been made. It almost seemed premature because there were still some steps, but that gave you an idea that this was going to happen.
Absolutely. And for me, I don't know everything, all the inner workings, haven't scrutinized everything, but for me, it's obviously first and foremost the football stadium, but it's also the fact that there's an awful lot of affordable housing being built. This is a massive project. It is
hotel,
not
retail,
solely
classrooms.
Stadium.
So
of course we want to, as NYCFC fans, get totally behind the stadium, but I do like the fact of the other things that are being built to go alongside it as well.
I'm just looking forward to have a home venue for New York City FC where I could look to the far corner flag and see Maxi Morales. That's really my hope and my goal. But Matty, you I was going to save this for our live commentary, our pregame show, which begins at 7:15, exclusive one-on-one with Nick Cushing. We talk about this a little bit with Nick too. But you played so many games overseas in real soccer stadiums in England. I mean, really intimate settings, and what that can mean for a player. I mean, just to be in a proper facility, I guess.
It's nice to have a home. Yeah. I know that Yankee Stadium is the home per se, but it's not, as you say, it's not a football stadium. When this is built, when it's 2027 comes around and the players can sit in their own dressing room, not one that's also occupied by the Yankees or the opposition, wherever their dressing room is at Yankee Stadium or here at Citi Field, it will feel like a home. It will be fantastic. It really is. It's lovely to come into when I played at the Den or Selhurst Park, Craven Cottage. It's nice to know that you're coming home for 50% of your matches.
And we can review kind of the renderings that were released a while back, but just to give you an idea, there's the entranceway, and we know that that's been enhanced. It's going to be this beautiful with the signage and just something to really make the supporters feel like it's their club when they walk in. And this is the overhead view, which I love. You see Citi Field is kind of shaded on the left, and there's Seaver Way, and right across the street is where this yet-to-be-named stadium. We assume it's going to be Etihad Stadium, but you see where it says naming rights. But it's really, and then when you get inside, this is one of the sight lines, and then finally this, if you were field level, just to give you an idea. And it seems like it has the proper roofing, which you didn't really like at St. Louis.
No, I didn't. I like a lot of soccer or new soccer-specific stadiums in the US. I wasn't a big fan of St. Louis. I love Cincinnati's. I love Nashville's.
Columbus is good.
Columbus's is great.
Yeah.
Sporting KC's is great, and I know that's a little bit older. LAFC's is wonderful. It's just nice to have a truly soccer-specific stadium. And we know full well, I know we're only looking at renderings and architects' drawings, but we know it's going to be a joyous occasion when that first game comes around. We really do. It's going to be absolutely magnificent. I love coming to Citi Field and to Yankee Stadium, or not so much New York.
It's still New York, and you get to come in, and it's got there's a vibe at these stadiums too.
There really is, but this is going to be different. This will be different. And it will be full as well. Let's be honest, it will be full. When you go to Yankee Stadium, it's very hard to fill Yankee Stadium unless maybe when Messi comes into town, but that's once in a blue moon, isn't it? So a packed house, there's nothing better than that. I hated as a player playing in a 60, 70,000 capacity stadium and there being 30,000 people there. Right. But playing a Loftus Road, 19,000 capacity, is 19,000, and it felt they're on top of you. There's nothing better than that.
And 25,000 is apparently the capacity of the new stadium, which is set to be open in 2027. Yankee Stadium was the venue last week. New England, the opponent in New York City, gets their first clean sheet of the season. 2-0. So that was a good moment for New York City FC. And if I can find it, yes, I can. This is the game-winning goal.
And now it's O'Toole again on the left. One-on-one. He's in a situation where he can get a crossing ball in to Wolf. Settle, shoot. It's blocked by Rooney. Here's the follow and a goal! New York City opens the scoring, and it's Agustin Ojeda, the 19-year-old, making his first start in a New York City FC uniform. He latches onto the rebound and drives it home with the right peg.
Yeah, and I love having my own words rammed down my throat. Lack of ideas, Ojeda replies with pace and precision. It's a terrific strike from Ojeda. It's fortuitous that the ball breaks to him on the top of the 18-yard box, but who cares? Because he puts the laces through the back of the ball here, and he smashes this one home. He really does, Ojeda. It doesn't get struck any truer than that. Credit Kevin O'Toole, because he gets half a yard of space. He gets past Lima, clips it into Hannes Wolf. Hannes Wolf doesn't really take the greatest of first touches. It's a good block by Romney, but the block falls to Ojeda, and what a finish, Glenn. What of true majesty it really was.
That was well described, Matty Lawrence. And so the Majesty strike by Ojeda has earned him another spot in the starting 11, which we're scrolling at the bottom. In fact, and why would you make a change? There are no changes in the 11 for Nick Cushing.
Absolutely not. It was a very good performance. It was a good win, of course, and also keeping a clean sheet. I thought that the two wide boys, Fernandez and Ojeda, yes, I know they scored, but I thought it was more than that as well. But I'll go back to maybe be a little bit pessimistic. We can't forget they're 19 and 20. We know there's going to be inconsistencies in their game within a 90-minute game, but also within a season as well. So we can't expect goals from them every week.
Right.
But what we do know is that they've got real quality. And let's hope it carries on again here. But you can't get frustrated with young players if they don't do it every single week.
But this young player, Ojeda, maybe he's got something special. And one of the reasons I say that is Nick Cushing on Thursday, in his comment about Ojeda, he made it seem like we're going to be seeing a lot more of him. Here's what he said.
Not only was it a great goal, it's the game winner, but it seemed like he was pretty busy throughout the match. Yeah, I mean, Agu has shown, there's a reason why we wanted to bring him here. He can go down the left, he can go down the right, he can come inside on the right foot. He's comfortable going down the outside on the left and crossing off the left foot. He's dominant right foot, but a real versatile winger who is, I think the boys naturally have a preference, whether it be Julian Fernandez playing off the right to come inside on the left foot, or Andres Jason that likes to go down the outside of the right because he can come. But I spoke to Agu and he basically said to me, I play either. And I think that's a real asset to have. Because,
that's a good answer.
Yeah, because I think ultimately, even if he says that answer, you have to show that. And in training, he's played on both sides. He's played off the right, he's played off the left. I think a guy with real speed, real short speed, but also wins the races in the long moments. So I actually think he's going to be a really exciting player for New York City.
So the fact that he can play both sides, and look where he scored the goal from. He was right up the gut of the field.
Middle of the park,
yeah.
Almost playing in a 10 position. And I think we've seen, although it's been a very small sample size, we've seen that he has quality. For me, almost more than that. He's got pace. And it's good to see somebody with... We know that Bakra's got a little bit of pace, but apart from there isn't a great deal of pace in the team. So it's good to see that. I love the fact that he can go both ways. I know Fernandez on the other wing predominantly cuts inside, but he's shown us really early on in his NYCFC career that he's willing to go to the byline and go on the other foot, go on the right foot as well. I think that's so important for young wingers. They have the ability to go both ways.
To do both.
Yeah, and as a fullback, I used to play fullback before I played centre half. That's the worst thing in the world, knowing that they can, the winger, the person you're marking, can go both ways, because you don't know where to show them then because they're comfortable on both feet.
As for Fernandez, though, last week, this goal that kind of sealed the match was with the foot he prefers to shoot with.
The ball pried away from he and Andrew Farrell, now played forward. Here comes Fernandez. It's 2 versus 2. He curls a shot, and he seals the victory for New York City FC! Julian Fernandez! He just picked the left corner and curled it past the keeper, Ravas, and a stoppage time goal. And there's the long-awaited second goal to clinch it for New York City FC. And New England, you could see the frustration, a lot of hands on hips as they wait the return of New York City from the celebration.
Well, this goal is one of true wonder from Julian Fernandez. He picks it up 45 yards out, and then there's 0 players really trying to force his head down. There's no pressure whatsoever, and the curl on this is absolutely magnificent. He sets it out well wide of the right-hand post of Ravas and tucks it back inside it. Second goal syndrome is no more, Glenn. What a tremendous finish from Julian Fernandez. And I looked down and the coaching staff are all jumping up and down and hugging each other. Players were falling to the turf and caressing and cuddling each other. That was a true team goal, it felt like. Even though it was an individual one, it felt like everyone was behind Fernandez.
Yeah, that was there was a sense of relief for sure. Nick Cushing hesitated to use that word, but you talked about players flopping on the ground. Listen to this one. I want to get inside your head and what you felt when Julian Fernandez scored the elusive second goal, let's call it, because we've talked, I don't know how often we've talked about getting that second goal or third goal to seal the win. And you got it. So that must have been a moment. I mean, we were trying to look at the bench of the play. It just seemed like there was an elevated level of excitement.
Yeah, I think we showed that moment to the team because I think we all are aware and all understand the nature of MLS, and the second goal is an important goal. And there's also been moments where you get the second goal and you concede the third, and it's 2-1, and so it doesn't exactly. It doesn't give you the points, but it gives you a real breathing space, and there's a real mentality piece to it. There's an understanding that 2 goals gives you control in the game and makes the opposition chase it. And I think, the moment that we showed to the team was, if you look on the wide angle, when the ball goes in, James Sands' reaction was actually a great reaction for the team, because he falls on the floor almost. You can see the relief, the feeling that we all get. You can see in his actions. He falls on his knees and then falls on the floor, rolls on his back. So one that the team was, amused the team, but I think it is,
and it's okay to feel that emotion for yourself, your staff, and everyone, considering how close it's been.
Yeah, I think it's the natural emotion to feel because if you're not having goal chances and you score it feels like relief. I don't think that moment is relief. It's more like it's about time, right? We have so many chances.
So he gave it the old with the lips. Yeah. That's pretty really. And then Julian Fernandez was the next guy in the presser. This is my one-on-one with Nick, which you're going to hear at 7:15, the New York City FC Network. And Julian Fernandez said, "Oh no, the team was relieved by that goal." And I think we all felt it. Everyone who's been involved.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right?
We all know it. We know that it's been a long time coming. That second goal, I think there's only been, twice this season that we've scored, or NYCFC have scored 2 goals.
Right. Toronto was a win too.
Yeah,
so every time they score more than 1 goal, they get a win.
Absolutely. You could see it. There's nothing wrong with showing your emotions. There's nothing wrong with falling to the ground with a huge, sigh of relief. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It was a good performance, and the team deserved the 3 points. And the second goal just finished it off. It was a great goal. If Henry Kessler had backpedaled any further, he would have run over the goalkeeper.
Coming from a central defender, professionals, he can speak on these things. And but no, the truth was he was stumbling as he was backpedaling. And but that's why you, as an attacking player, go at that defender. You go at them, and if they don't engage, then you're free to pick and choose.
It's nothing more than shooting practice for somebody of the quality of Fernandez. That's all it was. Just passed it into the back of the net.
All right, we do have to talk about Monsef Bakrar, who, and I give credit to Hudson River Blue. They put out something where they listed all 29 strikers for all 29 MLS clubs. Bakrar is the only striker in MLS, the designated striker, who has failed to score a goal. It's now 588 minutes. So naturally, I brought it up again to Nick Cushing. Last week, you said 150% confidence in him. Without a suitable backup, Alonso Martinez, we know, has played there. But Jovan Mijatovic was not in the country at the time. Now he's back. It would seem like the pressure on Monsef to produce takes another step forward.
Yeah, I don't think it's the pressure on him to produce. I think he's has a huge desire to produce, and as a team, when you create chances, you want to be clinical and convert them, whether that's Monsef or Hannes or Julian or Agu. Or, of course, competition for places brings that almost apprehension in, you have to deliver. But I think, there's many ways that you can fix this issue, if we want to call it an issue. Does he sit one and come off the bench? And
well, that's what I was going to ask you. Is there any, maybe you didn't have as much flexibility or choice prior to last week, but would it help him to just sit and watch for a game or two, or be the guy that comes in the 70th minute, puts it in the back? Then I'm sure this has been discussed, but isn't it possible that's the best route for him right now?
It's possible, yeah. I think you have to discuss all these moments. You have to look at, is it right to roll him again and just put him out there and give him opportunity? Is it right to wait till the game opens up and, the opposition are tired? He's an aggressive runner. Is he going to come in like a Julian Fernandez that can come in and take that 20 minutes to take the goal chances when the game is open? We'll discuss it all. We'll involve Monsef in that because I respect him. He's a real, intelligent guy, a guy that knows what he wants and what he needs. So we'll involve Monsef in it. We'll involve the staff, and we'll come to a decision and a conclusion that ultimately the driver will be the best thing for Monsef.
All right, and the winds have whipped here at the Citi Field in Queens, New York, where Monsef Bakrar will be in the starting 11, but on the bench is Jovan Mijatovic, who returned from Serbia, got his visa issues corrected, and got himself inside the country. He was at training this week, and he's on the bench tonight. Regarding Bakrar, you know how I like quotes, Matty, and so this is from Betsy Tacy, a great series of books. You don't grow up until you begin to evaluate yourself and acknowledge that you have a few faults. And then what you need to do in this case, he's just got to keep working them. Acknowledge it, what are the faults, and then move on from there. So that's our guy, Bakrar.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's really, really hard. And I think if Mijatovic had been back earlier, I don't think that Bakrar would have started today. I think he is hurting. I think you can see he's beating himself up on the field, and I don't think it's doing him justice being out there right now. We know that he works hard, and we know that he's a trier, but for me, I almost think it's doing himself more damage being out there. I said it in commentary in the last game. I would take him out of the starting lineup, bring him back for the last 20 minutes. We know he's a great runner. We know he's very athletic. Bring him back for the last 20 minutes when other teams are getting tired, defensive lines are getting tired. It's not happening today. For me, hand on heart, he seems to be a wonderful fella, a real trier. I just hope somehow by hook or by crook, he manages to hit the back of the net, because
by hook or, maybe by hook or by crooks. Maybe
exactly.
I can have some sort of an influence here. A couple of other things, Matty. New rules, right? New rules. Off-field treatment rule, and you get like 30 seconds on each of these to succinctly state whether you like them or not. You're a former player, and I really appreciate what you have to say on this. So off-field treatment rule. So you go down injured. You have 15 seconds. If you're on the ground for more than 15 seconds, the trainer comes out, and you can't come back for another 2 minutes. Go.
I don't like it at all. I
don't either. So go ahead.
I think it's ridiculous. I'm not quite sure how it's going to work. Let's see. But
it's worked in MLS Next Pro, according to Ali Curtis, who's the guy who heads up the competition there. And apparently 80% reduction in injury delays. I don't know how they calculated that, but that's the purpose of it, obviously.
Of course, it stops time wasting. But if a player's laying on the floor, it doesn't matter. As a referee, you're in control of the time.
The referee manages the game. That is my point. Go back to NYCFC Views this week. Listen to my tirade on this. I don't like the rule. I don't care what percent. The referees manage the game. Just call the trainer on. Lean over. How you doing? Oh, my ankle's really hurt. Okay, trainer on. That's it, man. If a referee is really managing it, it might take less time.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know when somebody is properly hurt and when they are. 95% of the time.
All right, time substitution rule requires a substituted player to exit the field within 10 seconds. If he fails to do that, then the guy coming in has a 60-second holding period. He can't come on for 60 seconds.
Another ludicrous rule, in my opinion. It's like, is there like a pitching clock now as well? I just don't.
That's the timing
get
of these things.
Yeah.
Okay, one final thing, which I found. The quote of the week came from Jim Curtin, and you got to hear this. I don't even know.
Like him. I like Jim.
So there was a VAR decision that, actually a call that went against an offside on a goal that didn't go to VAR review. And then in his his weekly presser, this clear and obvious came up. And here's what Jim Curtin said.
Yeah, look, I don't want to make this about a referee thing, but again, what does clear and obvious even mean, right? What's clear and obvious to me might not be to the next human. So, yeah. A lot of millions of people watch 2.5 Men. I think it's the dumbest show ever. It's clear and obvious to me that it's terrible, but everyone watches it. So maybe I'm wrong, so we could go on and on what clear and obvious means. Again, not a referee rant at all, just more of a technology rant.
And sneaking in, how long has he been waiting to say that one?
A long time.
All right, Matty. Well, in a few minutes, 7 minutes to be precise, 7:15 Eastern, we'll start our live commentary with our pregame show on the New York City FC network. And featured is the exclusive with Nick Cushing, presented by Ford. Then at 7:30, if you're watching Apple TV, you can use the drop-down app and listen to the English hometown commentary. That's Matty and me. And then kickoff tonight is 7:40. So thank you so much for hanging with us here on the NYCFC pregame live. We're on 45 minutes before each game with our live stream and lots of wind pick. Wind is all of a sudden going to be a factor in this one. Enjoy the game, everybody.